Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Model Horse Maniac, and today, I know it's still only May, it's still early, but I thought today we'd have a quick look at what model horses are coming up for the second half of 2025. So by the second half, we're talking about models from July 2025 onwards for the rest of the year. And we're going to look at all the major model horse brands in turn. So we're going to look at Breyer, Schleich, CollectA, My Little Pony, and any other brands that have any random stuff coming out. And if I can work out to, I'm going to add timestamps so you can skip around to find the brand that interests you the most. So yeah, join us on this little expedition as we have a look at what rumours there are, what predictions I might have, and confirmed models for the second half of this year. Breyer. So it makes sense, I think, to start with the big one. So Breyer have a lot coming out. They always do. We'll start with the limited edition models first. So, firstly, obviously, we've got Breyerfest. Although it feels like the run-up for Breyerfest has been going on forever, it's still technically in the second half of this year. It's sort of mid-July, so all the Breyerfest models are coming up in the second half of the year. I've made a video listing them. I'll put them up on the screen quickly. But I'd check that video out if you want to know how you can get your hands on those models. And then there's club models, and Breyer loves to keep collectors busy. So we're going to have multiple collectors club models. There's going to be collector club exclusives available to anyone in the club, like Maddox, and also more in the lottery drawn series. So I'd expect them to continue the exotic destination series, like Prague and Mallorca earlier in the year. There's also going to be tons of other club and website exclusive releases. We've got the Winter Traditional Decorator, the Holiday Mare and Foal Set, Pony for Christmas, Christmas Morning Surprise, Classics Holiday Unicorn, Halloween Classics Decorator Special, Winter Classics Decorator, Christmas Stablemate Blind Bags, Halloween Stablemate Blind Bags. The list goes on and on. And that's just what we know based on previous years. So there might be other ones added in there as well. There's also several Breyer.com exclusive plushies that are released throughout the year. There's usually ones coming up for Christmas, Halloween, 4th of July. They also, just on their website, BreyerHorses.com, have loads of other exclusives throughout the year that aren't models, like pins and blankets. As it is the 75th anniversary year, I'd expect a lot more merchandise to come throughout the year. Then we've got looking at the club models, like the different club models, we've got the Dulux Collectors Club models, which includes the Darius, who is the shrink raid semi-rearing Mustang that's available in the Gambler's Choice of there's the 4 vintage decorator colours and then the Bay Blanket. Premier Club models, we already know what these are. So we've got Cosimo, the Merguez Stallion, Rowan, the Highland Pony Stallion, and Winifred, that adorable little mule. Vintage club models, they always keep these a secret every year, so we know how many releases they're going to be. But the only one we've actually seen in person so far is Pioneer on the Western Horse mould. Stablemate club models, I'd imagine some of these will be released before July, but most of them will be in the second half of the year. But we've got Chickadee, the Gambler's Choice on the Loping Quarter Horse mould. Harpinger, the rearing Lipzana turned into a Pegasus, Javier on the Peruvian Paso mould, Madonna on the Hagen Renneker Arabian Mare mould, and Spencer on the Silky Sullivan mould. There's also, talking about exclusives, there's also going to be Tractor Supply Company exclusives, I would expect. We usually find out about them about June, July, and they release sometime during the autumn, winter. There's usually 3 or 4 traditional scale models, a classic set, stablemate blind bags, and horse and foal surprises. And also for the last couple of years, one of the traditionals has been FFA themed. They're usually blue. It's also worth noting that usually the stablemates become regular runs the following year, as did the classic set from 2024 this year, became a regular run this year. Of course, the traditionals don't, as they're the only ones that I usually want. And that was only the limited editions. We still have loads of regular runs to look forward to. We know that we've seen stock photos for the Halloween horse, Arachne, and the Christmas horse, Christmas on Bloom, on my favourite mould, Flash. We also get loads of other Christmas related items. There's a holiday traditional scale playset. This year it's called Holiday Trail Ride. We've got 2 advent calendars. We've got Mini Winnie scale 12 Days of Christmas, and also Mini Winnie scale Horse and Unicorn Friends advent calendars. There's an ornament painting set, which includes the shrink-raid stablemate version of the Gypsy Vanna and Trotting Foal. The Christmas in Bloom stirrup ornament, which will look, I'm sure, just as dodgy as they normally look. We've got a cool glass blown version of the traditional scale Gypsy Vanna mold in a box. There's a snow globe, there's a Lexington racehorse ornament, a Morgan artist signature ornament, unicorn ornament called Nalu, the Beautiful Breeds ornament, which is this year is a Shetland pony. We've got the Santa ornament series, which is Showman, and Victory in the Carousel ornament series. They're really going full out on Christmas now, Breyer are. But we've also got mid-year releases to look forward to. We know one of these. This is Cash on the quarter horse on the Australian stock horse mould. This was the winner of Breyer's contest last year, which gave Breyer fans to give Breyer the chance to tell Breyer why their horse should be turned into a model. There were 3 that were picked, shortlisted, and that was the one that won. So that is going to be they've already announced that as a regular run in mid-year this year. There's usually 2 or 3 other mid-year releases, and they're usually announced mid-June for the second half of the year. We also have the last 2 in the 75th anniversary set. So the first 3 models in this set are the Western horse, the sports horse, and the Spanish horse. But according to the silhouettes on the back of the boxes, we should also be expecting an American saddlebred stallion and stock horse on the Smart Chick Alina mold. And based on the previous 3 models in the set, they should follow the same pattern of having horse silhouettes on them. So I'd expect them to come out mid-year as well. And there should also be a traditional scale full decorator, which is usually advertised as a limited edition, but I've included it in the regular runs because it's usually available in most places, even if at first they have a limit on how many dealers can order. So now that that's all over, we'll move on to CollectA. So although CollectA models are meant to be distributed through the year like Schleich are, it looks like the majority of their new horses are going to be arriving in the second half of the year. They, like with other companies, that it all went wrong during COVID basically, but they haven't really recovered. Like most companies had production supply issues that meant that the models were late arriving. And CollectA had the same, but they don't seem to have been able to get back to the schedule. Like I think they could do with almost just skipping a year or 6 months. Even though as a collector, I don't want that, to try and get back on schedule again with those January and mid-year releases. Because even their early year releases are still May. So in May, there's the Dapple Grey Percheron Mare, Black Tobiano Warm Blood Stallion, and the Playbook Horse World set, which are not technically the second half of the year, but I've included them in this anyway because at the time of filming they're not available yet. But the rest of the models for the new year are expected to arrive October 2025, so very much in the latter half of the year. We've got the 112 scale Frisian Mare, a Lipzana in the Spanish Walk, Male Tournament Rider, Haflinger Stallion, Blacksmith, Buckskin Tobiano, Tennessee Walk and Horse Stallion, and the Bowing Lusitano Mare. So look forward to them in wintertime, autumn-winter this year. Then let's have a quick look at Schleich. So again, I've got a video on this that I will link either in the comment in the description or like on the screen now. So we just recently got pictures of the new 2025 Schleich for the second half of this year. They're not officially released yet, but the information is available on several different online stores. They always end up leaking. So yeah, as I said, if you want to check out all the other animals, check out my video where I looked at all the other animals. But this one, we're just focusing on the horses. So in July, we have a load of new horse sets. We have the Lakeside Truck and Trailer set, Lisa's Tournament Training, Sarah's First Aid Kit, and Hannah's Western Adventures. Also in July, we have this new collectible foals series, which include a Diamond, who weirdly is gold-coloured, Darcy, Dipper, and Delilah. We also have 5 new 1/12 scale for the first time in Schleich's history, CollectA's line, which is aimed at adult collectors and should be launching in October. These models are the Arabian Mare, Tinker Gelding, Pre-Stallion, Trakehner Mare, and Paint Horse Mare. And it's worth noting that it is widely believed that at least 2 of these models will be a different colour to the ones that are shown on the screen. So I don't have any idea which ones they are, but I'd expect them to be slightly different. We also have the Advent calendar for Horse Club, which will be arriving in September. And we also in September, we have a limited edition large wooden barn. Not strictly a horse, but I keep talking about it in all my videos because I'm still excited about it as a horse collector. Now I'm going to have a quick discussion about My Little Pony. Obviously Hasbro, completely out of the picture, My Little Pony picture for the remainder of the year. But Basic Fun has a couple of small projects, hopefully releasing towards the end of the year, providing that they're not bankrupted by tariffs. And check out my video on that. It does not sound promising from the CEO of Basic Fun. We don't have any stock images or official information yet, but we've got a Stranger Things Rockin' Robin pony, which is a bigger size at 21 centimeters and is meant to be released autumn-winter 2025. And then we have the Totally Rad collection, which features 5 ponies that look to be a mixture of new designs and new concepts and ponies that have previously existed. So like there's a Firefly in there, but there's also ponies that I don't recognise. This is the first time Basic Fun have come up with their own totally new designs for My Little Ponies, that aside from the Stranger Things Upside Down Applejack. As all their previous designs have been reproductions of previously released ponies or prototypes like the Celestial ponies. So the ponies potentially look to be a Starshine in an alternative pose, a Firefly, which is obvious because we have the packaging for that as well, Moonstone in an alternative pose, Skydancer in an alternative pose, and also an unknown white pony. So hopefully we'll see some other pictures of them soon, and hopefully they will actually come out, even though they're not my favourite thing in the world because I prefer the reproductions. I just want Basic Fun to succeed, basically, because they've done such a good job with My Little Pony, Hasbro. And as far as we know, the model horse offerings are definitely limited from all the other brands that I can think of. So we don't have any new Papo, Mojo, Safari, or other horse brands coming up with any new horses this year. Obviously, Peter Stone models, they'll carry on doing what they're doing, but it's a bit disappointing on the other things front. We should, I assume, have some more WIA horses from Model Third Versland. Hopefully towards the end of the year. They just released a couple recently, and they usually release like a couple of different releases a year. So if they've already done 2, I'd probably expect another 2 later in the year. I know they've already said that they're not doing any more Christmas horses, like they did a couple of years of Christmas horses, which is a shame, but hopefully towards the later end of this year, we'll see something else from them. So yeah, with that, we've had a quick little roundup. I'm sure this will immediately come out of date. Breyer are immediately going to release some more models. But this should give you hopefully a good idea of what is coming up in the second half of this year. There's lots to look forward to and lots of unknowns that I'm sure we'll find out about as we go on. But thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.